Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to 2 miles per gallon. I'm Gage, and in today's episode, we are starting the 10x12 workshop project that's going right behind me here in the backyard, in the corner, and we have all the wood that we need for the base. So I am beyond ecstatic to get this figured out. Now, we are starting off not 20 minutes from the last episode. The truck is right behind me. We just pulled back in, and we are getting straight to this. First things first, where the shed is sitting, is going to be sitting in this corner, and it is not level. It kind of slopes down towards the back. So the front here, I'm still doing the 4x4 post that's laying right here. However, I'm gonna have to dig it down, that way it sits level with the concrete. I'm wanting it maybe an inch to inch and a half above the concrete. I don't want a huge drop in or step up into the shed. And then back here, to get it level, we're gonna have to dig out holes, drop in the posts, and then the back end is going to be raised. So we'll need to get that figured out as well. But for now, we have all the wood that we need, at least for the base. We have the hardware, we have everything else. We just need to start digging the holes. Now there's one thing that I am worried about, and it's this. There's one concrete block here, and then there's another one poking out here. I don't know if it goes all the way across. It looks like it does. You can see where there's dirt. I'm hoping that that won't interfere though. Right here is the biggest slope, is in between this concrete block and then the concrete pad. So we'll get that figured out. Maybe you can see it better from this way. We will get it figured out. If we have to, I'll have to dig it up and we'll just go over it or through it or whatever. Either way, we'll figure it out. Let's just get started. We don't have a hole shovel or a post shovel, whatever you want to call it. We only have the square one, so it's going to be kind of a struggle. It's going to be a lot bigger hole. It's going to be a bigger hole than we need. Jesus, I don't know why that was so hard to say. But yeah, for now, we'll just need to level out this portion and get it done. So let's get to work and figure it out. All right, I got the trench dug. I got a couple things in here that looked somewhat important, like cut wires, but I don't know, they don't go to anything, so I hope they're not important. We'll see, we'll find out. So right now, as it sits, I think what I'm going to do is I'm gonna box the frame in with these 2x6s. Or are they 8s? No, I think they're 2x6s. Yeah, no, they're 2x6s. I'm gonna box them in and kind of lay it down and get it in its spot. Like if I nail them together without the posts, I'm just gonna do some framing nails on the end, box it together, get that figured out, and then from there, that'll tell me where the posts will go. I don't know, I'm just gonna say this, I'm not a construction worker, don't claim to be, I'm not a professional. I'm not telling you to do this on your own accord. Just don't copy anything that I do in this video, whether it's something great or something bad, whatever it may be. Please don't. I'm not a professional, I'm not condoning any of the actions that I'm doing in this video. Please, if you can afford it, have someone else do it for you. Have a city inspector come out, tell you where the guidelines are, stuff like that. I'm a first-time homeowner, and I am DIYing because that is the only thing that I can afford. So with that being said, please do this at your own risk, and I'm not condoning anything that happens to you. With that being said, I need to go grab the level. We got the framing nails, we got the hammer, and let's get this done. All right, we got the level out. We're gonna go ahead and box this together, and I think that might be the best course of action. If not, just take it apart and we'll move on. So let's get to it. with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have the 2 rear posts in. We got one there, we got one there, and they are looking great. They are perfectly leveled. The corners fit up flush. They're great. They're good. I think my oh gosh, excuse me. Oh, I think my next step is to level out the rear, because the front, I like where the front is sitting. It's got a little bit of a lip, but with some flashing put in, that's how it'll sit. And then you got the dog. I don't know, I think that's good. What are you doing, Tex? What are you doing? I'm not a huge fan of how tall it is, but at the same time, being able to get it off the ground a little bit would be nice. I might even go slightly taller, I don't know. Because I don't know if I want this end on the ground completely like that. Then again, I might leave it, because now, actually, I wonder if this side is level, because looking at it, I don't know if y'all can see that on camera, but this right side here is definitely higher. Let's see by how much. Oh, it's actually dead level. Okay. Let's see the droop on the right side. Okay, yeah, no, it's definitely still high. On that side, we're good. And then on this side, it is also still high. So we are good. No need to worry, no need to fret. I think I'm gonna stick with my plan on leveling it out in the rear, getting that nailed in or screwed in. I don't know. And then I'll do the post in the front and get it set. I think I'm just gonna do one nail. That way I can still rotate it a little bit. I don't know, but I'll have to, yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be a doozy. So with that being said, let's get to it. And just like that, we have everything leveled. Everything is damn near perfectly leveled. All of the posts are stuck in the ground. For all 4 of them. We have the braces laid out now. I have marked every 2 feet for the braces, then we're gonna have a 12-footer go all the way across. So we have 7 in total. Now, with that being said, we need to go through all of these 2x4s and make sure that if they have any bow going down the entire length, it faces up. That way we don't have any premature sag or anything of the sort. So, with that being said, let's go ahead, let's knock that out, get the rest of these things in here, get them all lined up. And then we also have some doubled up here, and that's to screw into the end of the post. And that'll support a lot more, I want to say weight, but I don't know, we'll see how that goes. So with that being said, we have quite a bit of cutting to do with the 2x4x12, and these 2x4x10s fit perfectly on the inside of this thing. So let's get those bowed edges faced up and go from there. All right, as you can see, we got all of the bracing and the main frame laid out for the deck. Most of it's done. Only thing that we have left to do is, I'll show y'all real quick. Through the middle of all of these braces, we're gonna need to cut this up into 2-foot sections, and that'll prevent any of this wobble. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there you go. It'll prevent that. It'll just make it a little bit more rigid.
Alright, we lost all the audio in this clip and a few others, so we're going to have to do a little voiceover to keep it rolling. In this clip, I'm just going over the final product of the platform for the shed and touching on the thickness of the plywood and how level I got it. We were running into a couple issues with the spacing of the studs, as well as the thickness of the plywood, as I'm about to show here. I ended up going with 1/2 inch instead of 3/4, and I'm going to fix this later on by doubling up on the floor, which ended up removing all of the flex that we had. One of the biggest issues that we had was it getting rained on, so that was definitely not a great day. We also went and grabbed all of the lumber for the framing as well as the roof structure. It was close to somewhere around 1,000 pounds worth of lumber on the back of this truck, and it took about 1.5 to 2 hours to load it all up and then get it all out. So the off-road shocks were screaming for help after this. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into getting it all put up and ready to go for the walls. Let's get it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And I just realized that all the audio in the last footage got destroyed. So upsetting. However, we're just going to push forward, and as you can see behind me, we have quite a bit done. I am beyond excited to show y'all this, but holy crap, have we been moving forward. And it has been fast as hell. We have all of the rafters up. For the most part, we got most of the walls up. We're missing up there. We're also missing the big section there. And then, of course, the angled pieces. But we have most of it up, and we are damn near finished. And it is looking freaking good. Now, the only thing that I haven't done yet are cut out the window portions. Riley. Now, the only thing that we haven't done yet is frame out all the windows. And the reason is we don't have them yet, and I don't want to frame them out and the measurements be wrong. So we're going to get that figured out first. We need to get the windows, and then we'll go ahead and frame them out. There's going to be 2 there. There's going to be 1 here, 1 there. Possibly some that are going to go up top, but we'll see how that goes. We also need to frame out the door and then get the inside done as well as the loft. We'll need to get the loft planned out and done. So with that being said, we are going to keep working. Now, I would have filmed all this, but me and my father-in-law were just going crazy with it, knocking them out left and right. They came in for the weekend to come visit us. They had some stuff to drop off, so he helped me out. Huge help, huge thanks to him, and we got quite a bit knocked out, and it is so worth it. It looks amazing. It actually looks like a shed now and not a square frame block, which is great. Absolutely fantastic. A couple things that I had to fix, but we'll get there. I'm running out of daylight, and it is getting kind of cold now. It is currently 48 degrees outside, and I'm out here in a t-shirt, so it is quite frosty. But we got the hurricane ties up. Ooh, way up there if you can see. We got them in the back as well. They're mounted to the frame, and the beams are going across and sitting in them. But they're not, the H1 ties are not strapped to the beams themselves. So they have, yeah, there you go. Or that one's a bad example. There we go. That one's screwed in there, but it's not screwed into the actual beam itself. So there we go. Now you can see. There's nothing on the side. Fantastic. So, with that being said, I'll knock that out tomorrow, get that done. I need to measure it out and figure out plywood size and how I'm going to lay it out. But for now, with that being said, I'm going to call it there. We got into a groove, so we kind of knocked them all out. We got all the bird mounts cut. Everything is done with that. So the next time that you see me, we might just be damn near done and moving on to painting. So I'm going to finish this up, and then we'll get to painting. But before that, ooh, look at this beautiful sunset. Oh my goodness. Gorgeous. Gorgeous views from back here. Anyways, with that being done and said, I hope that you guys are ready for it. We're going to get this thing painted in the next clip. Let's do it. All right. We are back, and I have something horrible to tell y'all. I've recorded almost every step until now, where I stand at the moment. And as you can see, everything is almost done. We're really close, and I'll get into that here in a minute. However, every clip, every audio portion of every clip between the last one and now has been corrupted. I don't know what happened. I've tried everything that I can think of to try and fix it, and it just won't. So we're going to be skipping until now, and we have gotten quite a lot done. As you can see, it is done behind me. We even have power ran. Now we're currently working on that, and that is our current process, and that brings us up until now. And if I step outside, which we got the door on, and I flick on outside lights, we are currently looking like this. We have most of the paint up. We still need to finish off the white trim, but we got almost all of the black. Last thing that needs to be painted black is the soffit on both the front and the rear. I actually still need to put up the soffit in the rear, but everything else is looking just dandy. Still need to finish up the white trim on this side as well. But man, is it looking good. I'm super excited about it, and it is bright. We are currently working on our junction box here, and then we're going to be running out a GFCI outlet right next to that. So all currently in the works, but it is looking splendid. Now, I don't even know if y'all can see anything on this side. Maybe not. But either way, we're working on it. Let's come back in here, because it is late here in North Dakota, and it is fairly frosty. Oh shoot, I got tools falling. Anyways, let's get into it. So we have power coming in. It's only 120 volts. There's nothing that's going to be in here that's going to require 240. So we have it ran to this 6-spot junction panel. I do need to undo the main wires, break it off so I can utilize all 6. But as of right now, we have outdoor lights and indoor lights. You got to be careful touching that because it is hot at the moment. So outdoor, which are these guys. Oh, nope, that's indoor, sorry. Outdoor, very nice. And then we have indoor lights that are ran to these 5. They're not fluorescent lights, they're actually LED, which is great. I absolutely love them. They provide plenty of light in here. And my biggest thing is that there don't seem to be hot spots, which is a huge
thing. Super excited about that. Yeah, other than that, it's great. I absolutely love it. Now I need to finish caulking the windows up there, but for now, we're going to focus on trying to finish up this wiring. That way we can go ahead and jump straight in to insulation, which isn't going to be too terrible. I believe the insulation was going to be 360 for batting, faced batting insulation, and I believe I'm going to go with an R19, so nothing crazy. Like I've mentioned before, we're not living in this shed. It's going to house tools and store items. I just want it to be maintained, so it doesn't need to hold anything crazy. So, but I do want it to be efficient. With that being said, The batting insulation is going to be around 360, 380 for everything that I need, doing all the walls and the ceiling. It might be a little over 400. Doing the blown insulation, and I brought this up in one of the previous clips that got corrupted, but doing the blown insulation was going to only be 160, but not including renting a blower, like a machine to break down the blown insulation blocks that they come in. That was going to be 200 plus the netting, which was going to be like 120 for everything. It was just all going to add up. So as of right now, as far as time and money saved, batting is the way to go. So with that being said, I'm excited to get that done. I still need to finish up quite a few areas. I need to put up a couple extra boards, studs, and get everything finished, such as up here where I had kind of caulked these windows in place. I need to seal around the edge, both from the outside and inside, and then I'm gonna like sandwich that piece of acrylic in there with another stud on its face, just so it gives me something to nail into and doesn't leave a crazy gap. So you can now see the wires. Everything is a mess at the moment, and that's because I didn't have the right staples to get everything organized. Once I have the staples, everything will be so much nicer than this. It won't just be dangling around. They'll actually be kind of attached and backed up against the wall, and nothing too crazy. So with that being said, I don't know what else there is that I've missed other than painting. I believe the last clip was of us finishing the walls and windows. Now, for the third time, let's get into wiring this. I'm not looking forward to this at all, but I guess it needs to get done. So I will see y'all once it's done. Nothing enough to do other than do it. And oh goodness, we are back. And I said that I would come. Oh no, I just stepped on a tube of caulking. All right, I said that I would be back as soon as we finish the wiring, and essentially it's done, kind of. I got most of all of the receptacles done. There are two left that are kind of back behind this wall of stuff, and we'll get to that in a minute. I know you haven't seen it. However, I do want to add that we added in an extra receptacle that kind of goes up this back wall here. I plan to put in a little wall mounted heater. I'm going to have to add studs. I'll figure out that later. However, the wall mounted heater is going to plug into there, and then, like I'd mentioned before, a TV is kind of going to go a little bit lower but kind of hide the receptacle as well, so everything's going to be off of the ground instead of having it down here where it can be kicked or bumped into or rolled around by things and all that nonsense. So, ooh, you almost saw it. We also have these up. We have the lofts. Huge upgrade. I love the storage space that we have. There's about, I want to say 3.5 feet there, and then maybe a foot right here in between, now counting from board to beam. So quite a bit of stuff can fit in here, and then you can also take the totes and put them side by side, kind of going this way rather than vertical or horizontal, whatever you want to say, and kind of stack them too high there, so you can get 4 bins, and then 2 bins, and then the rest storage, whatever. There's a lot of storage in this space. Now, as you may have seen, insulation. This is what we're moving on to. I need to finish up the last 2 receptacles before we get too crazy with it. However, in this corner, I started testing out how I'm gonna do it, and I don't think I'm gonna do it like this. It is extremely puffy. Extremely puffy. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. This is 2x4s, and this is meant for a 2x4 application, as per the gentleman that I spoke to, who's an all-knowing being in the insulation world. So, listening to him, this is the stuff I got. This is R19 23 by 39 foot rolls, and I got 9 of them. Each one is 75 square feet and some change. So, with this, I'm expecting there to be, oh goodness, ugh, got an itch. I'm expecting there to be some excess, and I'm actually hoping for that. That would be the best case scenario. I'd rather have more than not enough. So, we need to get that in, and like I was saying, with how puffy this is, I think I'm going to do it a little differently. There's not much, like, it doesn't take a whole lot to squish down. The drywall will hold it down. Like, it's not insane. However, it's more than I would want. What I also don't like is that you can't see the 2x4s that are in between. There's a 2x4 here, as, you know, what it's stapled in. So, oof, goodness, excuse me. So, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up pushing these flaps kind of back a little bit, so they kind of sit on the sides of it. I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that's bad. I don't know. I'm not an insulation expert. I don't know. But I'd like to be able to see the beams when we're doing the drywall. It'd make things a lot easier, make measuring out cuts a lot easier, rather than kind of, is there a beam here? All right, cool. Beam there, beam there. You can just see them. Makes it easier for me. It makes it a little bit more streamlined, I'm hoping. However, this place is very close to being done. We spent, I want to say, $300. It was close to $300 after tax and all that on the insulation, so it's not bad at all. And we're only doing walls and ceiling. The ceiling isn't getting covered in drywall. It's just going to be an open ceiling, and it's going to be sprayed black. So with that in mind, I'm extremely excited to get the ceiling done. And with the ceiling being 2x8s, I want to say, because I don't think those are 2x6s. No, those are 2x8s. With the ceiling beams being 2x8s, these will sit even more kind of indented, and they won't be squashed as much. So a little bit more airspace. However, I'm thinking it'll look clean with some beam poking through. So with that being said, moving on to the outside, there's quite a bit that we got done on the outside and still need to do. However, Riley has been working non-stop, and I'm kind of showing it there already. The paint is damn near done, and it looks amazing. I couldn't be happier with how this is coming out. It looks just fantastic. I'm in love with it. Now, once everything is painted and stuff on the inside, when you look through the window, it won't just be orange. However, next thing that we did today is we finished up the outside receptacles and the GFI outlets. I am super happy with how this came out. Now, if y'all remember, the original plan that we had for this box was that this was going to be our incoming line straight into the GFI outlets and then into the breaker panel, which, after saying it out loud, sounds insane. I don't know what I was thinking. Again, like I've said a million times, I am not a professional. This is not my daily job. This isn't something that I'm used to doing all the time. I know a little bit I've helped my father with it a little bit. Other than that, that's all I know. So what I ended up doing was turning the original box into a junction box. Ooh, goodness, junction box. And then from there, running it inside, and then instead of having the GFI outlets tied into the same circuit as the rest of the outlets, it's its own circuit now. So it runs from the box, which is around here somewhere, down through the wall, and then now you have access to it. The only thing that I don't like about this is that there's no hole for the wires to kind of droop down. So whenever you have something plugged in, like, it's open. That's how it sits. It's no longer watertight. However, the caveat to that is that it's thin. It doesn't bulge out incredibly. It's super low profile, and I absolutely love it. Now, there's still a little bit of painting to be done. We still have the top trim, we have the bottom trim, and then a little bit on the back. And then as far as woodworking goes, other than adding some studs and a couple base plates here and there for the drywall, we have the soffit to finish up. I put in the plugs. I don't know. There you go. You can kind of see. I put in the plugs that kind of stop the air from getting in too bad. However, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spray foam behind that just to really seal the cracks from any bugs and stuff being able to kind of crawl in and then get behind the drywall. So with that being said, we're gonna head back in No, goodness, the bugs are tearing me up out there. I was hoping to get this entire thing done in one video and get it out there for y'all. However, we are starting to go over the length of video that I really wanted this to be. So the main building process is done. We got majority of it up, and I am beyond ecstatic for it. We have wiring in. I'm gonna be honest, this has gone a lot further than I intended to this fast. Although it's taken, I think we're in our 3rd month building this, and it's just been me. And with Riley's help, like, it's been quite the lengthy process with just 2 hands, sometimes 4. However, it is coming out great. Now, before I end it, I do want to show off. Those are those blocks that I was telling y'all about that I'd put in. Similar to the other side. Oh, goodness. Similar to the other side, only difference being they're not incent. I forgot to do the back half when I was doing the initial framing. So instead of them being kind of backdropped in there and actually sealed and good to go, they're kind of hanging out front. But I'm not too upset. I'm kind of okay with how this is working out so far. What this is going to do is give us a bump to what we can lay the sheetrock up against, and they are all the exact same height. So the sheetrock is going to be completely even across, which I'm pretty excited about. I mean, it was kind of going to anyways, but now it's definitely going to. You'll be able to see it a little bit more. It'll end up getting painted to match the drywall, so you don't see it as much. However, for my peace of mind, how it's working out in my head is that it's going to line up fairly well. Also, now that we have the lofts in place, as you can see, the lights don't reach all the way down. So I'm thinking about getting either battery powered lights, because I don't want to hook up another circuit to the circuit panel. I don't want to go through having to wire it and then figure out a switch for it, even though I'm probably going to anyways. However, what I'm going to end up doing, or what I've already ended up doing, is moving the lights that I had on the outside beams, because all they would be doing is, one, taking up real estate height rise, but light wasn't getting down. It's not going to. So, and there's no reason to light that up. We're not working up there. So what I ended up doing was kind of doing this star pattern, I guess you could say, where there's 2 on the outside, 1 on the inside, and it's staggered. It ended up coming out pretty well. I also cleaned up the wires so they're not hanging. I have a feeling I'm going to get lit up for that. I need to move this one back a little bit and kind of get it out of the way a little bit more. However, all the wires are kind of up and out of the way. That one seemed to have come loose, but we'll get to that. No worries. We'll get it figured out. Now the camera battery is about to die, so I'm going to go ahead and get this wrapped up. I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I hope that you guys stick around for this build. We've had a lot of hands touch this, and it's been a lot of work, and it's been a lot of time put into this. So I'm extremely proud of what we've accomplished in 3 months. Again, with the majority of it being myself and Riley help. So with that being said, this is going to be part 1 of 2 of the shed build. Goodness, I cannot speak for the life of me today. In the next episode, we're going to be finishing up the insulation. We're going to get drywall, mud, paint. We're going to paint the floor black and then throw in the floor tiles and then get the final ton of, I don't know what to do with myself. The final touches on this place done and ready to go. And hopefully we can get it done in the next month to 2 months before winter. That is the main goal. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you guys enjoyed, and until next time, peace out.